This club's about winning trophies. I'm inexperienced in a lot of those things.
3-0. Sorry for smiling there.
Almost lost the cup and you win it. The new European champions, the treble, the dream come true for you.
Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? Oh, Manchester United. What a shit show. What a crisis. What a season. United, another sad sack performance on the South Coast, playing the Cherries at the Vitality Stadium. Did you think the boys would get up for it? I certainly did not. And did not. They did not. And not they did. I don't even know. But they came out like a sack of sad potatoes and got peppered in that first half. We're lucky a little bit on finishing on Bournemouth side. A couple good saves from Onana. It was a tight game. And it could have been a blowout. And a little bit in the second half. But either way, like United just going through the motions. We know what's going on. Players have given up on this manager. This manager's out of ideas. We're getting spats. We're getting like personnel stuff, even with the young lads who have a better work ethic than most of the senior lads in this club. But either way, it's a proper mess. It's a 5-0 on fire. And it's another manager about to be fired. Sir, how are we feeling? How are we doing?
Welcome to being a Manchester United fan. You know, we've been through a lot since the greatest to ever do it, Sir Alex Ferguson, and here we are. We thought Rangnick was the bottom. Man, that was a tough 6 months. I'll let you know this has been a tough 12. Erik ten Hag at the helm of Manchester United. Like I said, the conspiracy theories, the X-Files, something happened on that weird preseason tour where we played every other day. And since then, we've not seen the Manchester United we saw last year. It's absolutely nuts. Obviously, he gave the armband to Bruno. I don't think that matters that much.
Doesn't.
There were fallouts left and right, and you know what? It looks like it's continuing to fall out, and when it goes bad, it's going bad. Garnacho liking some social media posts, manager drama, and, you know, like that camera, that shot at the end of the game where you get that 1,000-yard stare, frustration in the press, taking shots, defending players, saying we're doing good when we're not, and one win in the last 7, sir. That's all you need to know. Manchester United, I'm hoping this is the bottom. I'm hoping Ineos coming in, whatever they decide to do, turns this around, because shit football has to die this season at United, and whatever we do next year, we're not going to be probably that high in the table. We're not going to be competing for top 4, but we're going to get rid of dead wood, and we got to start playing some semblance of the modern game, because right now what we're watching, getting cooked by Bournemouth, they should have had 3 or 4 in the first half. Again, somehow Onana comes up big. We get lucky, and we have great players in the side who can make a difference, so we end up drawing. But that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about this team. This team looks like they want to go on vacation, play golf, go to the beach, cash that check, anything but work together as a unit on the pitch, and I'm kind of sick of watching it.
Yeah, and we've seen it too much. You know, it's 2024, and we've seen the same movie like 4 times in the last 6-7 years, right? We saw it with Mourinho during his last days, with Ole during his last days, with Rangnick for 6 months, the entire time he was here, and then now basically all of Erik ten Hag's second season. Maybe not the whole second season, but now like the last 3 months, they've given up on this manager, and he's just run out of ideas as well. So he's not helping himself. He's making all kinds of crazy calls. He's pissing off players. A lot of these players deserve to be pissed off, but it's a perfect time for a change. Here's the deal: we're getting a new CEO. We're getting a new director of football. We're getting a new scouting team. We're getting new everything. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Why not get a new manager? They're not. The thing is like Erik ten Hag's making it easy for Sir Jim Ratcliffe. It could have been a hard decision.
Well, he could learn from the manager's past, right?
A couple of months ago, he still had. It was still in flux. He could have gotten another year. Now it's there's only one decision to be made, and they make it easy on the new regime to make the right choice, which is we need a fresh start. I don't necessarily know who the next guy needs to be, but like we need a clean house, and part of that is like you start with a manager, a couple of the player, bunch of the players, and that's a start. And we can get worse, but like you need to start somewhere, and we need to clean house. Get that broom out, baby.
Yeah, I think the decision is made. I think it's very clear over the last couple of games what Ineos is going to do. It's becoming an untenable situation, and I blame Erik ten Hag for that because if you look at managers past, like Ole just smiled through the bad times. Mourinho went like full toxic blow up, which kind of accelerated things. Erik ten Hag is just kind of like the stubborn, everything's great, like being hard on the player. It's just like LVG kind of on the way out the door. He's stubborn who he starts. He's pissing off players left and right. It's kind of been the same thing. He needed to capitulate at some point this season. He needed to talk to the locker room, clear the air. My bad. Like, we're going to do it differently. Like, the football was so bad and he was playing survival that he had to like eventually capitulate and like change it. And he never had that clear the air moment. We never changed it. And it's just kind of been whittling the 11 down to the same 11 and over. It's been a hell of a fight. You can tell it's taking its toll on him. I feel bad for the guy, but man, you can't play shit football at Manchester United, whoever you are. And he came in with all the pedigree, and it's tough to see it. It's been a rough year on every single United fan, and we still have the FA Cup. So what do you know? Let's go to Wembley.
Let's go to Wembley indeed, right? 8 more games left if we make it to the final. I mean, Jesus Christ, we better make it to the final. We're playing Coventry City. But the decision is made. And I think the most disappointing thing is, like, we did play good football last year. I enjoyed large parts of last year. But like you said, I didn't buy it when you said it a couple months ago, but now I well and truly buy it. Something happened in the summer. Something happened around the departure of De Gea, around what happened with Sancho, maybe the new buys, maybe, I don't know, that summer, what's it called? Like preseason tour from hell, which was just a nightmare even for us to cover because like you said, they're playing back-to-back games. They play Saturday, Sunday, different places. I mean, that was madness. And like, I think you nailed it too, which is like, he never backed down. I think last year he was a little bit more flexible. He was willing to change things up when things were like clearly going wrong. He would mix it up. And this year, I think his stubbornness will it has led to his demise. Like that will be his undoing. He has not been able to waver, change up the midfield. Today again with Casemiro, it's like, dude, you just don't get it. So no hard feelings.
Well, you piss off Eriksen. And like something's going on with Mason Mount where he's
Where's
reluctant
Mason Mount,
to bring
bro?
him on.
You bought Mason Mount.
It makes no sense to me, and you can't manage a football club like that. And fairly or unfairly, the buck stops with him. But sir, the buck stops here as well. Quick PSA for the podcast. You want to support the American Red Devils. You like the fan take. You've been listening all year to the shitfootball.com. We've been spitting. Support us. We have another season we got to get up for here shortly. Patreon is the best way to support independent fan content. Check out our page, patreon.com/American Red Devils. We do a behind-the-scenes episode every single month. Tons of benefits. Check it out. Join the creme de la creme of the American Red Devils community. Check out our store, AmericanRedDevils.store. We have the Erik ten Hag Red Army scarf. Get it while you still can.
It's about to go on sale.
It's about to go on sale. We'll send it to you for pretty much nothing. Or it's just going to hang out in your garage for a while.
Yeah, we're going to donate them.
AmericanRedDevils.com for your fan-generated blog content. Sir, tell about iTunes reviews. Also, like, subscribe where you listen because it's just me and Alex doing it for the love of the game.
It is literally just John and I.
I wish we had a big team, I wish we had like a big whole crew.
I wish I had like a mean mugging Dutch guy next to me with bald head. Just let's look at the iPad.
Sir, we can't even afford Dunkin' Donuts coffee, bro.
They haven't got Dunkin' Donuts around here, unfortunately. Speaking of supporting the pod, great way to support the pod. Join Patreon. It is the elite membership. If you can't do that, write a 5-star review. It goes a long way, especially if you do it on iTunes or Spotify. And even better, if you write a 5-star review, it's in a screenshot of that review to AmericanDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address. I'll personally pick, pack, and ship some free ARD gear. Maybe get yourself a free Erik ten Hag Red Army scarf.
Erik ten Hag Red Army scarf coming to you.
Send me a 5-star review. I'll give you at least one, maybe 2 scarves. Same scarf. Here's a great 5-star review from Aramantrout. 28, amazing show. Listen to you guys every morning on my way to work at 7 a.m. Keep up the great work and analysis. And don't stop, please, because I will miss you a lot. Haha. Thank you for the great review. I will not miss Erik ten Hag a lot.
That's right. We're talking Bournemouth 2, Manchester United 2, Vitality Stadium on the South Coast. Onana in net. Wan-Bissaka left back, Magoo, Kambwala, Delo, Mainu, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes in the hole with Rashford on the left, Hoyland up top, and Garnacho on the right. How are we feeling about that 11?
Got to be good enough to beat Bournemouth. I mean, that's what you'd say. The thing that still befuddles me is like, why can't he play a little Mason Mount? You know, what happened to Money Mount? Let's see some Money Mount. This is the team that you should be dominating with possession, controlling the ball, and trying to break down a low blow. You think like, hey, we're going to try and break down Bournemouth. That's what we used to do in the past.
Try to dominate them because they're no good.
And Casemiro looks like we were saying it to you when watching the game together. I had never seen such a step down from a play. He was so good last year, and he is so average this year.
Very average, sir. Speaking of average, let's get into that first half. United dreadful 16th minute, Solanke putting us to the sword. And I think he cooked Kambwala here. Sad to see.
Stabbed back by Senesi, and Solanke is onto it. He's left Kambwala behind. Dominic Solanke nails Bournemouth. He has lashed at it with vigour.
You know what?
No man has ever scored more.
Sign Solanke. That's what I got to say. Is like, you'd sign that guy. He's the striker we need for the next 2 years, bridging the gap, because he is not bad. You know, scored, I think, 17 right now.
Yeah, he's like third in the Golden Boot. He's like 3 behind the freak show Holland. And he does well to finish. Poor Kambwala, young lad, thrown into position, probably... it's a push.
That was poor. That was poor. That was very
let me
poor.
Finish.
There's no way around that. That's poor.
Well, obviously, where do you think I'm going with this? I'm saying he had a good game against Liverpool, gets another start. I think he did much better in the second half, but he got cooked. I mean, he got cooked, fell over on himself, and you feel bad for the young lad because he seems a good kid, proper Muppet like we are, only cares about United. And you know what? He'll get another chance, but that's tough when you're a youngster.
Yeah, shoulder to shoulder. He drops him. Then the way he fell down,
It
that
looked
was
like a cartoon.
it was like I would have gotten cooked and fell down
just like that.
I would have fallen down. Maybe it would have looked a little better.
Yeah,
you
would have hurt yourself.
That was comical.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad.
At least pulled a hammy. You could be like, I got injured. Instead, all right, we would get something from nothing here in the 30th minute.
Rashford, Garnacho, Fernandes, 1-inch. Thumped with vigour into the roof of the net by Bruno Fernandes. And bang on the half hour, Manchester United have parity.
All right, Bruno back from nothing. United playing horrible in the first half, and Bruno getting something from nothing there. You love to see it.
Yeah, United should have been done and dusted. Not necessarily at this point, but by the end of the first half, we should have been out of it. Like, they beat us 3-0 at home. We didn't lay a glove on them. This was not too dissimilar. Nice ball in. It kind of like gets a little bit of a lucky bounce, and Bruno does well to finish. He needs to score more goals like this. In the past, we've seen him blast over. So, game on. United are back in the game. They probably don't deserve to be.
No, totally. I only commented to you about like Bruno kind of celebrating that like very intensely, and I thought that was the moment where the captain grabs the ball and like runs to the center circle and gets the
turned
lads,
around.
He's
he immediately turned around.
It's like literally like, hey, we were playing like shit. We got to get back in. I just felt like
I think he's
like
trying to pump up his teammates, but I know you don't like Bruno. So
no, I like Bruno a lot. I just think as a leader, there's a lot there, and that was a moment to like, hey, we played like crap, but we just got one back. Let's go. And I don't know. He's just a little. You celebrate those goals. It's very individualistic. I think the problem with United is we're a bunch of individuals. Like Anthony scores, it's all about him. There's not that like team. We don't have that humility in the team. Of like, hey, we're playing like crap. We got to get back in this one. And speaking of it, Solanke goes just wide after turning Kambwala inside out. And then in the 36th minute, this one's really on Delo, unfortunately here.
So easy for Kleiber. Kleiber! Bournemouth back into the lead. Terrific.
I mean, they're ahead now.
They deserve to be ahead. There was no doubt. They were dangerous all day, especially in that first half, coming in from their left side. They were cooking Delo. Delo had a very poor game. Was in no man's land. Kambwala should have done better. He should have closed down his man. But to be fair, I don't even know what Delo's doing here. But they had a couple opportunities just like this. Solanke like coming in from the left side of the box, dragging it just wide to the right. So yeah, they deserved to go ahead. There's no contention from my side that like United were in this game at this point.
Yeah, Delo in no man's land, you got to tuck in there. I mean, like, if you're worst case scenario, you got to tuck in, defend the cross. He's in no man's land, and then it creates all this space for this goal.
And then he yelled at his man. Did you notice that? He yelled at his man.
Yeah, right-hand side of the pitch was horrid for Manchester United. You know, again, like, and Delo got cooked on multiple occasions from pretty much inside, outside, one-on-one. Did not have a good game. 42nd minute, Bournemouth hit the crossbar, United with nothing doing. And then at halftime, he did make a change. Ahmad comes on for Garnacho. This is kind of where we'll get into the post-game controversy, where essentially Erik ten Hag changed it because the right-hand side was wide open. Ahmad comes on, and we didn't have as many problems, right? So there was an argument for that change, but it's going to create a little drama later. And then the 65th minute, Manchester United with a penalty?
Bruno Fernandes slides it in, and Manchester United are level again. They have a platform, their faces can be saved.
And he's been their saving grace, hasn't he, Bruno Fernandes? Captain's performance.
I mean, where would we be in this game without Bruno Fernandes, sir? Great penalty. I would say the call was decently soft. He moved his arm to the ball. No qualms there, but we'll take it. I mean, we need it all day. But again, a penalty bringing United level here in the second half. We didn't create much, but we didn't really give as much as the first half. So we did kind of go in and come out half play better.
Yeah, and that penalty, I mean, sir, I'm the biggest Muppet you're going to ever find. And I thought that was not a penalty because it wasn't even going goalward. You know, I know he chicken winged it, but still, it's like, it's not doing nothing. But I'll take it because I'm a Muppet. But even still, I wouldn't want that called against us. But like you said, like United were more control. We didn't give up nearly as many chances, as many like huge chances. But there wasn't a lot of urgency. It was like everybody was just kind of going through the motions, not dissimilar to the first half. But there was no kind of gumption like, let's go win this thing. It never felt that way, even though we got gifted back into this game with that pen. So I would have liked to see a little bit more effort other than number 8. Everybody else was just kind of walking around.
Casemiro's not playing well, and he was out there the whole game. 70th minute, Bruno hits the crossbar from a shot at range. 78th minute sub. Finally, Mount for Kobe. He would come on, impact the game a little bit. We were still all over the place. 97th minute, again, this is where the penalty for Kambuala. This was created because Delo muffed a key ball in the dying minutes, and then VAR overturned this one. Finally, VAR with a backbone, but for me, if this was like for United, imagine this penalty being given for United and taken away. Fans would be freaking out because at the end of the day, the ref calls it a pen, so it is a foul, and then VAR doesn't have the tech to know where it is because if you look at the video, it's at an angle. So once you're at an angle, you can't trust that it's in or out because you can have it film it from multiple angles. You don't know anything, and that's where I don't understand how VAR is able to overturn things without the right info. This is just a problem with VAR overall, but hey, I'll take it. This saved a point for United. We need it desperately, but definitely I would say we were hard done by a few, and now we get one. So there you go.
100%, because like if you look at some of the calls we've got, I think Chelsea goal, the Chelsea penalties that we gave away, this one was like, it was on the edge, like you said. I couldn't see VAR overturning it. I was like, they deserve to win. I mean, at the end of the day, like usually the football gods are just usually in the aggregate over the long term, and they deserve to win, dude. They outplayed United. They were hungrier. Like I think it sends a message around how they recruit and who their coach is versus the problems at Manchester United after they beat us 3-0 and like annihilated us at home early in the season, that they deserved all 3 points. And United probably got bailed out here. I didn't really think it was a penalty, but like given where the EPL is, I didn't, like you said, I didn't think they'd have the backbone to be like, yeah, let's overturn this at Bournemouth and like steal their 97th minute winner. Like I didn't read that coming.
Well, I'll take it. 2-2 would be the final score. We get a point. We played horrible. we get a soft penalty, arguably, and then we get one taken away at the death to be able to get the point. That's telling you what type of day we had away at Vitality Stadium. It is a tough place to play. To be fair, I mean, even good United teams would draw away. It's just we're grabbing at straws.
How you play,
we
sir.
need
It's how you
something.
play.
It's how you. It's 100% how you play. And how we played. XG to Bournemouth 1.95. 1.35 for Manchester
And we
United.
had a penalty,
Seen this
bro.
movie
that
before.
means a penalty is 0.9 xg. That means we only created 0.45 xg in open play, bro. That's how bad it was. We got cooked.
Bournemouth 20 shots. United 8. 5 on target for Bournemouth. 2 for United. We did have more of the ball at 57%. Didn't do much with it. That was the real big problem. Field tilt did go to Bournemouth as well. Where does this leave us in the table? It leaves us in 7th, 2 points ahead of West Ham with 50, played 32. Newcastle, they're steaming back with a big win over Tottenham. They have 32 games played, 50 points. Tottenham 32, 60. Villa 32, 60. We're 10 off of it with 6 to play. We cooked. We're dead. Last 5 for United. 3 draws, 1 loss, 1 win, and that 1 win was the only in 7 in the league. United could be steaming towards the worst finish in the Premier League era. Whew. Tough times to be a Manchester United fan, but when you look at the table and you see 7th and you don't even care, that's where we are right now because you're just looking for a good performance. We're just looking for watching some football that is exciting, that we're greater than the sum of our parts, and we're a team trying hard.
No, it's I think you tweeted it, sir. It's like we make other teams look amazing, and they, even the style of play and the way that teams attack and piece together passing and like create a defensive unit. It's like they play like a team. You said it, like they play like a team, and we don't play like a team, and we have not been playing like a team basically all season. A couple performances here or there, like we're back against the wall, we like show up, but otherwise, like this team does not play like a team. They play like 11 individuals, and I just can't wait for the end of the season. I don't care where we finish; it doesn't really matter to me at the end of the day. And I wouldn't mind an FA Cup, like that'd be kind of like poetic, like fire another Dutch guy after he wins an FA Cup. It's kind of funny. And let's start over, bro. I'm excited for a rebuild, another rebuild of Manchester United. But this one's actually the first rebuild we can be excited about because there's going to be competent people up top, and we've got idiots up top. Those idiots are getting fired. It's time for a fresh start. I'm ready for a fresh start, and I don't think I'm the only Manchester United muppet who wants. Let's clean house.
Yeah, watching this team week in, week out at this point is pretty brutal.
8 more games, sir.
Just try something. Try the young kid at left back. Put Mason Mount in the midfield. Go for it. I just am. That's what I can't understand. I just can't understand. It's the same thing over and over. It's Groundhog's Day, and it's not great. So what's the risk in going for something? I just play Ahmad from the start. Play Garnacho on the left where he belongs. Play Ahmad on the right. Go with Højlund. Go with Mount Eriksson. Mount Eriksson, Kobe. Give Bruno a rest. Or play him on the right, for God's sakes. I don't care. Do something else other than this, because this is horrible. 20 shots on Bournemouth. They're outdoing us at XG. We're getting cooked in the first half. And then it's just the amount of opportunities that other teams haven't scored. Bournemouth should have had 4 today. And this has been every single game. It's literally just get battered and somehow get a draw or even get a win. And we've seen it over and over this year. And I can't believe a team can do that the entire season. That's what's so frustrating. And then add on the stubbornness from the manager on top of that. And you're just come on, try something, go for it. Switch it up. We need something exciting to look forward to at Manchester United. And at a certain point, it is a circus. It's entertainment. We need to be entertained. We can't show up with overweight Casemiro not caring in the midfield and just absolutely getting run through. And it's put him in the back. He could be a supporting act right now, but we just need, it's not about vendettas. It's not about trying to win the league. It's literally about putting together a 90 minutes that is worth watching. And Manchester United cannot do it. And it sucks because you see the frustration of Bruno. Maybe that's why he's celebrating like crazy when he scores. You see the frustration all around, and there's infighting and camps and Rashford wearing his Gucci jacket, giving interviews about how he should have been going to Belfast to get hammered with his boys and effing off and this and that. And that's all this season is a horrible trade, slow motion car wreck. Manchester United is a soap opera. it is not a serious football club. And thank God Ineos is here because they're going to try to turn us into one, but I don't think we're ready.
Well, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take many years, and we don't even have the team in place yet. They know who they want. We haven't even bagged the big dog in Ashworth, even though apparently it's getting closer. But sir, we need a full refresh. There's so much wrong with this club. Look at this guy, this poor bastard.
All it is just
it's
just
a
so
mess,
hard to be a
dude.
fan right now.
Dude, it's trying. It's exhausting, but there is hope. There's actually hope. It's going to take a lot longer than people want. But there is hope because there are smart people for the first time in fucking 20 years. There are smart people that are not the Glazers making the calls.
But they're going to make mistakes.
Yes, they are. But they are going to make mistakes, but hopefully they'll learn from the mistakes because the Glazers just made the same mistakes over and over again because they were so dumb. They were incapable of learning from the mistakes they made while being, the stewards of Manchester United.
Let's hear what the main man, the manager, has to say.
You spoke yesterday about the importance of learning from the 3-0 game in December, challenges you faced here today. Why do you think you were quite passive in that first half, that you really couldn't match the intensity that Bournemouth brought to the game?
There was some point. One thing was that Harry Maguire had an issue first half, and luck for us, he overcame. And during the game, he recovered from it. And you see then the second half, he was up there. And then he can express his leadership. He can express his, of course, defending qualities and his rest on the ball. And we needed that, especially in this back four. We lose then some balls in areas we shouldn't lose them. And I think, for instance, when you see the first goal, the setup was good. But in that area, you should never lose a ball. But then it's still not the goal. But then over the right side defending, we had some problems in the first half. And in the half time, I think we repaired it. And then we were second half, Harry were better. We repaired it on the right side. And then we took more control of the game. And in the end, when we would have been more calm and composed, I think. Even we could have had a win. But first half, it's the truth. They were better. They created chances. But the cool thing is, we come twice, we return from losing position. So this team, the spirit is good, the resilience is good, so they show some character.
Spirit is good, sir, at Manchester United. Unfortunately, that mention of the right side is what is come into controversy. But top-level reactions to the manager?
I thought he was actually being more honest than he usually is. They were better than we were. And we had a lot of issues on the right side. So I don't see the controversy.
Well, he said he fixed them in the second half.
We
which
were
means
better. We were much more in control in the
uh,
second half. I don't know what he fixed. I don't know.
But he took Garnacho off. So then Garnacho has come back with an Instagram post with the zipper, not going to talk, right? So because clearly that he gets.
Do players on Manchester City do that? When Pep is like, hey, I'm not defending this guy.
It's not about that, dude. It's about the fact that should the manager is kind of putting it clearly Garnacho came off at halftime and was not happy. If you're in the locker room, he got hooked. I thought it was an injury because surely he wouldn't get hooked like that. He never takes anyone off at half. This manager does not do that. He does it to Garnacho, who's arguably one of our better players this year. Young player, also, right? Young and fragile. He hooks him at half, and then clearly Garnacho's pissed, and then to come out and be like, the issues were this, and then we fixed them, and implying that we took Garnacho off the field, that fixed the issue. You could see how a young player would be, not happy about that. He doesn't call it out usually.
No, he doesn't, but dude, he's in a dying position. I think our young players tend to be overly sensitive, and we fostered an environment where they think they can Instagram post stuff. I could see why he'd be offended, but I don't think it was that controversial. But sir, if you see
how do you think that you think this manager
he didn't
is
call him out by
getting
name.
Players on side by the droves, or you think people are sick of him? Clearly,
you're sick of him.
I'm not. I'm sick of a manager who's falling out with top talent around our team, and we have to watch this.
Well, that's why he's going to get fired, sir.
So
he's going to get fired because he's lost the players.
He has a higher fallout rate than Jose Mourinho, or it's comparable to Jose Mourinho without the CV. That's literally the issue that I have.
Garnacho came out underneath this manager, so it's maybe they're having a spat. Maybe it's a whole bunch of manufactured stuff.
But you know what I'm like. He liked some tweets as well that go about how Garnacho shouldn't be blamed, etc. But the whole idea is not like whether or not players should fall out with the manager. It's the fact that a manager is a leader of men, and when people aren't on side with the manager, or they feel like there's blood in the water, or they feel is weak, they're going to come out. That always happens. And it's like, it's up to the manager to control the dressing room and manage it, because if you piss off Garnacho, if you piss off Eriksson, if you piss off Rashford, you piss off everybody, then like everyone's kind of like, why don't you think Eriksson's playing? It's like very clear to me, like what's going on behind the scenes, and it's all going to come out. And I just wish that we focused on the football and not the drama, but it just seems to be so much drama this season. How could you even play football? There's
well,
so
you're
much
talking
drama.
about the drama. Like, who gives a shit about the drama, bro? It's like some Instagram post. I agree, but the reason he's going to get fired is because the players are not playing for him, and they're probably not playing for him because he's a stubborn Dutchman, like the last stubborn Dutchman we had, who also fell out with the players because he was so ridiculous. He had so many idiosyncrasies that the players hated that he lost all the players. Even Wayne Rooney was the captain. So, like, I believe it. Makes sense to me because at this point, these players aren't happy, bro. Most of them aren't happy. Most of them aren't motivated.
Yeah, but when a play like I'm the only reason why I'm trying to bring the only reason why I'm trying to bring the manager into it is because I've noticed throughout this season he doesn't make halftime subs, and I always think the reason he doesn't sub people who are playing well at halftime is because he doesn't want to piss them off. That's just my take, right? So something's going on with him and Garnacho where he hooks them and like whatever, but you just don't want it to spill into the press. You don't want it to spill into the socials. As a manager, that's something that you want to prevent from happening because it becomes an untenable situation. And that's what, like, fans are all over this, journalists are all over this. It's airing your dirty laundry.
And they're going to make a mountain out of it all week. They'll make it to be the biggest story. It'll be all, beyond just how fucking screwed we are. It'll be all about, like, this. It always is. Every time there's anything with Manchester United, any kind of player thing, it becomes the biggest story in all of England and most of European football. So it will again. It shouldn't, though, because, like, if this happened in other clubs, no one would even talk about it. So I agree, but the whole thing is a circus. That's the whole point. Manchester United becomes the circus. We are the freak show at this point because everyone's looking at us, laughing at us, and we just keep making a fool of ourselves. And, that's why they love to write stories about Manchester United.
No, I agree, but even with the Sancho thing, he called out how he was bad in training, but Rashford's been bad playing, and he doesn't call anything, right? So the idea is that if you don't call it out, then you might not have a tiff. You call it out, you might get a tiff. He calls out the right wing.
Sounds like he's damned either way.
Yeah, but like, either you call it, but it's hard because once you start calling it sometimes, then not the other, then players start, it's kind of this weird situation where like Rashford hasn't been called out, but
how would he do if he was called? I bet he wouldn't do very well.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So like, it's
way.
almost like you don't say anything, you keep it behind closed doors, and that's what you need to do if you're in the modern game as a coach. But it's just kind of that he's definitely kind of fumbled some of these things.
He has,
and it doesn't help. It doesn't help, dude, because like you said, the press scrutinize everything, and then it becomes drama, and then
there's infighting among fans.
Exactly,
like it's all just like,
and it's the last thing we needed.
Exhausting.
The last thing we needed is like Garnacho, like Erik ten Hag beef, because I'm just sick of the beef. There's too much beef, and at the end of the day, if you're fighting with people,
it's on brand for the year we've had, sir.
I know, but it's like fool me once, shame on me, right? Fool me twice. It's like
we're already past the guy, like up top in the American Red Devil bunker. Like he's already gone, bro. So I just want to minimize the collateral damage that happens between now and when he leaves. And like you said, you do not want to lose a Garnacho. We're gonna eventually lose Garnacho. He will eventually go to Real Madrid. We will not be able to keep him.
No,
forever.
of course,
but we don't want to lose him in a year or 2 years instead of 3 or 4 years. So we want to minimize the that's why they might fire him in the next week or two, sir, because they want to minimize like the youngsters getting pissed off.
I don't think he's making it to the end of the year. You heard it here.
Well, I agree.
All right, we got the wrong music, sir. Don't worry. Oh, we're ready. If you were sick of shit football, I got some bad news for you.
No, we're back, baby. This is our level. Seventh in the championship. It's about our level. It'll be like a toe-to-toe game.
Who let the dogs out? We're coming to Wembley. Ho, ho. Let's go. FA Cup semifinals Sunday, April 21st, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. They are 7th in the championship. We're 7th in the English Premier League. Let's see how we can go toe-to-toe. Lifetime versus Coventry, 43 wins, 17 draws. 23 losses, sir. Will this be a loss? I don't know.
I hope not.
First time we played, we beat them in the FA Cup 5-1. Last 5, 1-4, lost 1. The last time we lost was the last game, September 2007, and that was in the EFL Cup. Carling Cup at that time, sir.
Carling Cup.
Predates the Carabao.
My first year going to a Manchester United game. October 2007, sir. We had nice kits. I was thinking about that last night. I was like, damn, those Nike kits.
We're old.
Why, baby?
The glory days.
I was like, they should bring those kits back. Remember the 07, 08, 08, 9 kit was the same kit because it was so good? It was such a good kit. They're like, yeah, just run it back.
I know. We need Nike back. We're dying with Adidas. All right. FA Cup quarterfinals. They beat Wolves 3-2. We have struggled with Wolves. We did get over the line, but man, Wolves, they're frisky. Coventry beat Huddersfield 3-1. They beat Cardiff, beat them 2-1. They beat Leeds 2-1. Southampton 2-1. They lost. Coventry all over the place. They were formed as Singers FC in 1883, following a general meeting of the Singer Gentlemen's Club. They adopted their current name in 1898, joining the Southern League in 1908 before being selected to the Football League in 1919. Their only period in the top division lasted 34 years between 1967 and 2001. That predates us and predates the Premier League, which came around in 1992.
The next stat's the best one. The fourth bullet.
They won the FA Cup in 1987, the club's only major trophy, and they beat Tottenham 3-2.
I love that.
Their support is collectively known as the Sky Blue Army. And in Coventry and in Warwickshire, the use of the term going up the city is a term to say you're going to watch a Coventry City match. We're going to Wembley. It will be a wild one. We don't know any of their players, but they're playing the 4-2-3-1 with Sims leading the line. O'Hare in midfield.
Chief Kitchen.
I bet you they're going to come out and we're going to be like, oh my God. For United, physio room, injuries, Malacia out. Shaw out, Martinez out, Lindelof out, Martial out, McSauce out, Evans out, Varane out. Anthony did not travel with the team. Apparently that could be injury, could be drama with the manager. Yikes. Garnacho as well, probably not going to feature given the tit for tat in the socials. You got to run laps for that one, sir. What is your starting 11 here?
Only one change, I think, from today. I'm going to do Onana, Delo, Maguire, Kambwala, AWB. I'm going to do Mount. He won't do it. This is the same 11. Mount, Kobe, Bruno, Rashford, Hoyland, Garnacho. Who you got, sir?
I got the same 11 as you, but I'm going to do a mod for Garnacho because you do not start an Eric Ten Hag's team when you mouth off to him in the social media, sir. We got a booking the bookies. Dollar bills. Let's go. What do you got?
Ooh, heavy favorites. Never like that. Coventry plus 550 at Wembley, plus 390 for the draw, which means it goes to overtime, and minus 280 for United. Sir, given the odds, what is your score prediction?
Man, I don't know. I mean, anyone calling this like flip a coin, plus 550, 550 to go to the final. So this is just regular time.
Correct.
Look, I think we'll win. I think it'll be closer. It'll be nervier. 2-1, I'll say.
I think the misery continues 2-1 the other way. Coventry.
Get out of here.
Coventry final against Man City. Sir, come on.
Coventry.
My eyes don't lie.
We're going to win. Chelsea's going to win. Manchester United, Chelsea final.
Ooh,
I think it's going to be a United Chelsea final. I think we win.
If we play Chelsea, we win. If we play City,
today,
we
were
not.
playing and we were getting cooked. I said we will draw. We will draw or win.
Yeah.
I said it.
I know.
And I'm like, I think we're going to win the FA Cup this year.
I think that's more likely.
I think
than
we will
us.
continue to stumble our way through and somehow win the FA Cup. We will get outplayed in the final by a mile and somehow win. That's just how it's going to be.
Let's get some news.
United in the news. Sir, get outplayed. Get a result, rinse and repeat. That is Manchester United.
On to the next one. It happened, sir. It's
yeah.
done. It's happened.
Get into this one.
What I was looking forward to. OG official. Man United confirm. John Murtaugh will leave his role as director of football as the club shakeup continues under the great Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos, with the new regime pursuing Dan Ashworth and Jason Wilcox, sir. And then they made it official from United. Murtaugh stepped down from his position as DOF. of United and leave the club after 11 years in a variety of roles. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Smell you later, John Murtaugh. This is great. This is great. We're still working on the Wilcox deal. That's supposed to be close. Dan Ashworth. Ratcliffe's going to meet with the head chick of Bonesaw FC. They're trying to get a deal over the line. But either way, this is great because the people who have been around this club, the fact that David Moyes came in, fired everybody, all of Fergie's squad, all of his training team, fired everyone. The only guy who left that came in with Moyes and stayed after Moyes got fired 10 months later was John Murtaugh, who ended up being our first director of football.
Must be good at brown
director
nosing,
of football.
sir. Must be a big
making
brown
$2 to $3
noser.
million a year. And you know what? You want to know about how good these people are? See what the next job is. So this guy, just like Ed Woodward. What's Ed Woodward up to, bro? You think he's the CEO of Real Madrid?
He's on the board of Nobody FC.
Exactly.
I like
making $2 million a year as director. So
that's what it's all about. Look, love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I said when he leaves this club, he ain't getting no serious job, bro. It's he's not that. He should never have been our coach. And you know who made him our coach? This crew. And Murtaugh's part of this crew. At the end of the day, great interim appointment. That's exactly what he should have been. Get the vibes back, get the fans on side, and then hire a serious coach. John Murtaugh was a part of this whole thing. Everything at United that we've ever done is horrid. We've been in the kitchen cooking every year against Murtaugh. Show me something good that he's done.
Nothing.
Show me nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I mean, he's the one who signed off on the Anthony deal, dude.
And Ole said he bottled the Bellingham deal too.
I know.
Ole told him not to do something,
Holland.
then he does it. He bottled the Holland deal twice, thrice. It's this guy is a guy who literally has no experience, no relevant experience, and he literally became the director of football at Manchester United. It's unbelievable and it's insane, and I'm glad that they got rid of him. He's such a brown noser. I know exactly who this guy is, right?
He's like Darren Fletcher. He's just like Darren
literally
Fletcher.
brown nosing his way to the point where he was so hard brown nosing at Ineos that he was trying to stick around, and they cut bait. And I love that they did that because it's and that's what Ineos is about, is getting rid of the jokers. What do you do again? What do you actually do? Eat paella with Richard Arnold? Is that it? What do you how did you get
Where's
Frankie
Frankie de Jong, bro? Where's he at? Is he on our team?
It's good riddance. Another just more mediocrity heading out the door, right? And if you talk about Ashworth and Wilcox, these are the guys we need. Oh, by the way, there's two of them. It's
not one.
The puff pieces that those journalists wrote about Murtaugh, trying to spin it in a good light of how he's hiring new people, he's starting to he went to go shadow people. I think it was in the Telegraph. It just, everything has just been so overly signaled that this guy was a nobody, and thank God he's gone, because Manchester United, this isn't a passenger business. Manchester United, it's you got to be elite or you got to get out. And that's what I have issue with, is you see Fletcher today running warm-ups. What is that guy doing? How is he helping us?
He's another brown noser, bro.
He's a little bit of a job for the boys. Ineos wants him to stick around. He should be gone too.
He should be gone too, and I want him gone too, because no more jobs for the boys. This is a serious football club. This used to be a very serious football club. This is the greatest football club in the world, and that's a little bit of fan talk, but it's certainly the greatest club in England by a mile, and I love it with my whole heart. And here's the thing. When we were the best club in the world in the 2000s and then late 90s, we were there because we had the best people possible. Fergie did not surround himself by dopes. He had really good people, and the people who were running the club knew what they were doing.
His brother was doing scouting. I think
his brother had his brother had a bullshit.
He played
scouting
a
job,
little nepotism.
but he had other good.
There's
scouts.
criticisms of Sir Alex Ferguson that are valid.
I could talk about Fergie's negative stuff all day, dude.
I'm just saying,
he covered up for the Glazers.
We had elite scouts.
He let the Glazers in the first place.
I'm just saying.
We found Ronaldo. We found a lot of good players. I think his brother was just hanging around getting a paycheck.
Most of Fergie's scouting was from playing against teams. Ronaldo we played against him, and it's look. Next bit of news here. Let's talk about
the point. Was that we used to be a serious football club. How do you get to become a serious football club?
We didn't modernize.
You hire smart people. We're doing that. I'm glad to see it.
And the game has changed, and guys who are running the game are Ashworth and Wilcox, and they're coming in. We're accelerating moves. We're trying to get Ashworth in for this transfer window. Like I always speculated, Newcastle will let him come to United, but they don't want him to come this transfer window.
Correct.
They want to injure United, make us pay the most. So there's a scale of like, if they let him come for this summer, United's going to obviously benefit, so it costs more. If he comes after, it costs less. It's a negotiation. Let's see how it goes, but we will keep you posted there. Next bit of news is apparently from Ogden. Fletcher is going to stay, which I know you don't really care for, but
it's just a job for the, like you said, sir. I didn't like when Fergie did some of that shit, and I don't like all the buddy deals that have happened over the last 13 years, the last 11 years. And Fletcher, he was a fine player. I liked him as a player, but I don't like this whole
hanging out in mediocrity.
Exactly. Just like we're rewarding mediocrity because he used to be a hell of a player. Like same with Ole. Like you said, didn't deserve the job. Could have been a caretaker for 4 months, and instead we knighted his ass for 3 years and gave him all this money that he fucking pissed down the drain.
Guess what? Murtaugh ain't going nowhere and getting no job.
Oh, that's
Arnold ain't going nowhere and getting no job.
Richard Arnold got picked up by anybody?
No,
bro,
job.
they're unemployed.
And then next year,
this is real news.
The EPL is going to say they've approved doing the semi-automated offsides technology. This is much better because with the way that they're doing it, where they don't even show the lines.
I know.
VAR is literally they just don't have enough cameras, and they clearly because obviously you need the right angle down the line, and VAR doesn't have it, and then they draw these lines, and it's the problem I have with VAR and the offsides currently is that the margin for error is greater than the precision they use to draw the lines. And that's if you ask them what's the margin for error, they'd probably be 6 inches. And the lines are drawn to a millimeter. Yeah, and so it's based on where the camera angle is and the technology, you can only get so precise, but then the lines are drawn to be so precise. And so some of these calls don't even make sense. So the fact this will just go to a video like they did with the World Cup and it shows you a photo, virtual guys, kind of makes sense, right? I hope they keep that video or that, the visual of onside, offside, right? Without drawn lines on a weird camera angle.
100%, sir. You've seen it, especially when they had that big Liverpool call. They showed actually how they do the lines. They're like, oh my God, this is how they do the fucking lines. And the biggest indictment is that for all the good and bad of the Qatar World Cup, this worked and this made sense and it was fast and it was consistent and it was a little. I wish there was more of a margin. It was so punitive sometimes that the guy was off by an inch. He was off. But it was quick and it was consistent. It was the same and it was quick.
It was better.
It was
the
so
World
much
Cup
better.
was better than
but
what
the
we have
indictment
now.
is this should have happened right after the World Cup, and now they're finally getting around to it. But better late than never because this is great because the offsides have been a fucking joke, bro. It's take as much stuff out of human error and just let computers do it because they're good at this,
And the takeaway is that they can improve the offside check by 31 seconds in some cases. So they're going
at least probably.
It will also produce high quality broadcast graphics to ensure an enhanced and in-stadium and broadcast experience for supporters. And that's really good because when we went to the EFL final, there was a big offsides call and you see nothing, right? And it's you see nothing. And so with the offsides call, it'd be nice to have the visual, be able to project it in the stadium. It'll improve the fan experience.
Which they did do at the World Cup, didn't they? Didn't they show the offsides at the World Cup? They were pretty good about it.
Yep. But let's get into the fan questions here. Look, we've been on Twitter. You open it up, you're like, oh my God. And everybody who's out there, shout out to watching this club. We will be back one day. It will be glorious. Being a Manchester United fan, when this team is playing good football, there's nothing better. There's no better fans. There's no better club. There's no better team than Manchester United. And right now, we are the opposite of that. And we got to eat that L. We got 8 more we got to eat. Probably.
8 more, baby. Come on.
Then we have summer break. And we're going to rise from the ashes and hopefully have some positivity because when you have this type of negativity, this cloud surrounding the team for 12 months, 10 months, it's a lot. It's a lot for everyone. Fans disagreeing, getting chippy with each other, the team's bad.
A lot of infighting.
That's why when managers get fired, it's usually over the course of 2 to 3 months. It goes bad and it's okay, he's out. And then it's never this long of a death march. But this has been the longest, roughest death march we've ever had as fans. And so shout out to everyone still watching. We'll be back. It will be great. It will be glorious, but it's not now. It's not now.
No, it's not.
With that preamble, at JDW 300, Champions League gone. Europa League gone. Europa Conference League. Maybe we got that now. This team needs dismantling and needs to be rebuilt. I want to back Erik ten Hag, but he's not making it easy. No discipline or aggression in defense. Serving the most shots in the league. Bournemouth could have beaten us, period. Coventry next, ... At Yoni Boy _ again, and again. Cookie crumble playing style. We are like sheep wondering what to do. Took too long to make subs. Mount should have been on right after we scored the pen. Erik ten Hag is playing save my job football. That's what I thought.
Right, dude. Yeah,
I thought he didn't want to bring Mount on because he didn't want to lose. Because he wanted the draw. Because you bring Mount on, it kind of opens things up. You have to take off Kobe. That's what that says to me.
But he signed him. I can't even decide what the hell's going on anymore with this manager, right? It's like he signed Mason Mount. It was his initiative. There was no DOF who was like, we have to sign Mason Mount. He wanted to sign him. You think you'd want to play him because usually
that was a curveball signing.
It was
really
most people
paid a lot for him,
nobody saw us buying Mason Mount. Everybody was like, "What? We want
that money?
We need a CDM." He's in theory worth 55 million pounds because he's 25 and he plays for England and he's Mason Mount.
I understand. I agree with you,
theory.
But we did overpay for him because he had a year on his contract and he didn't play for an injury so it's like it was kind of not the best. It's not like we got him for cheap and we got this great deal. It was like we paid above a market.
Given he had 1 year left,
and then now we don't want to play him. It is perplexing, and that just adds to all of the questions that surround the Dutchman. At D_Cole18, it's hard to defend Erik ten Hag, but these players have done this to him, Ole, and Jose. We can't keep changing the chef. Keep the same rotted ingredients and expect a better product. Get rid of everyone over 24. We must clean the slate. It took Sir Alex Ferguson 7 years to build his first title-winning team. I agree. Nobody deserves, nobody deserves no blame here. Everyone should get cooked, including all these players. But Casemiro, Anthony, Mount, these are all players the manager signed. And so it's like there's also part of that too. It's not like these aren't his dogs that he has in this team either. At the Sasbo, very lucky to get a point. They were better than us all day. Shitfootball.com puts us in 7th place, but playing at a relegation level. Rasmus King, 0 service, making the season end early already. Shout out to Ryan Reynolds, Rob, and Wrexham on back-to-back promotions. Sir, Wrexham. We do not participate in the Wrexham madness.
No.
But, shout out to them. They got promoted again. They must be doing something right. It's scrappy down there, and obviously running a football team ain't easy because we see Manchester United just. But the shit football is really the problem. It's we have no hope. There's nothing about this.
Well, like you said, you said a great point, sir. You said a great point. You're like, usually when it goes to shit, it should be done in like 6 weeks, but sometimes it's done in 12. Right? It's done in 3 months because of the change in ownership. Right? Because the not change of control, but like the change in operating owner. At the end of 2023 calendar year, I think that gave him like a refresh, and then it was just like more of the same. So it lasted double, like you said. It should have been already decided. They should have fired him.
And then the results,
probably January,
playing poorly, getting results and not playing.
No,
well,
we should be like 11th. We should be like 11th. We should be like where Chelsea was the whole season. So that's probably why it's been so long. It's just brutal, and it's like I agree with a lot of the whole this team is rotten, but the football has to be better, and the football is just so ugly and awful. That's why, hey, Bengal won an FA Cup and he still got the boot because his football was fucking dire too, and so is this, bro. This is
bottom half of the league. I just don't even think any team plays this bad in the English Premier League. I know. I honestly don't think anybody plays this bad in the Premier League. But we have such good players, we can get away with it.
They have Burnley and Sheffield United.
Look at Brentford. Brentford was all over us. Look at Bournemouth.
Top team,
all
bro.
over.
Top team.
These teams,
top team.
If you have the reason we can get away playing so disorganized because we have such great players. That's my opinion. I think we have such great players like Bruno and Garnacho and all these guys that we can play disorganized and somehow pip results. No other team could do that. Bournemouth is drawing us, and they're working like dogs, winning the second balls.
Chances.
They have repeatable patterns of attacking play, switching it. They're working so hard to get the draw, and we're just mailing it in and still drawing them. Imagine if we worked hard.
Sir, we've had 4 goal of the season winners in this team, and it's been a horrible year. And that speaks to what you're saying. It's like horrible team, but we have great individuals that know how to score like bangers when they need to.
And I got to put that shit football.com pie at the foot of the manager because you've got great players that can
That's
steal
why
results.
he's going to get fired, bro. That's why he's going to get fired.
Like, everyone has their own opinion, but I think we have good players in this team.
We do. Of course we do.
They might be soft.
We still have the top 4 squad. I mean, we still have a better squad than Villa, and we have a better squad than Spurs. And you couldn't convince me otherwise.
Sir, we still got stomped Sevilla away last year. Remember, like that was.
I'm talking about the squad quality. I'm not talking about how we play as a team. I'm saying like our squad is better than Spurs, then our squad is better than Villa. It's just that like we play like shit. Players aren't motivated. The coach doesn't know what he's doing, and everything's a mess.
All right, from the potato grifter, please, guys, I'm begging you, don't compare this shit team to mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes are delicious.
He's right.
Have never let me down and don't deserve to be compared to this dog shit of a team.
That's
He's
pretty
right.
funny. That's funny.
Mashed potatoes are delicious. They are very good.
Delish.
And the only reason why we say it is because of Succession. Your mashed potatoes, Frank. You got to watch the show. It's a great quote, but that's the only reason why we say it. It's just basically not reliable.
And it's an analogy for a sports team. You don't want your team. I mean, I love mashed potatoes, but I don't want my team to be mashed potatoes. You know, we don't want them to be soft and buttery.
At Randy Scrandy, L, quote, this club and manager are going to somehow find a way to drag us down to 9th by season's end, and people will still want them to get another chance next season. The day we rediscover our standards is the day we're a serious club again. It is sad. I don't know. I think like right now, 7th, drawing Bournemouth, it's heating up. I think Ineos already made their call maybe 3 games ago.
I think they're already showing their I mean, they're already firing everybody, and I think we're hearing a lot of noise that they're going to fire this guy too. So I don't think they're going to fuck around, dude. Like I think they'll make mistakes, but they're not going to fuck around. These guys are smart. You know, they want to win. They want to succeed. They want Manchester United to be the best club in England because that means they're going to be the most valuable club in the world. And that's what they want. And that's what I want because I want this club to be back to the promised land where they belong, sir. So that's all I got to say. At AB_man99 standards. Just look at the teams we're supposed to be competing with and the type of football they play. Their clear identity. Ten Hag's got to go. And we have to start over. Sir, I think we're going to finish it there. What a week. What a pod. What a game. What a team.
Another one for the history books. It's going to be rewatchable. We'll be telling our kids about the Bournemouth away too for a long time. Just kidding, sir. Look, that's it. You like the American Red Devils? Support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/AmericanDevils, AmericanDevils.store, AmericanDevils.com. Give us our top 10 downloads the last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? Dublin, Ireland, Chicago, Illinois, New York, Philadelphia, PA, Melbourne, Australia, Atlanta, Georgia, LA, California, Charlotte, North Carolina, Houston, Texas, and last but not least, Toronto, Canada.
Toronto!
Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Couldn't do it without you. It's been a hell of a season, almost over. We got about 6 weeks left. Just hang in there. We're going to the Wembley. Can't beat that. Wembley. No, the.
20 times.
We still got
20
20.
times.
We still got